incorporating digitalization within a financial institution. I'm tremendously proud to have involved Bio. Bio is one of our sponsors and partners from the beginning with the AFIFORUM. Together with Bio, we also try to send out a survey that most of you have received and quite a lot filled in about digitization, their challenges and opportunities. From Bio, we have Jessica Schicks. She is part of the investment team, normally focusing on Africa, but quite recently done quite a big study on the perks and pitfalls of digitization for financial institutions. So we're quite pleased to have her involved. Jessica, can you hear me? And are you ready to take off?
Hi, Rick. Good morning. I can hear you. And I guess I'm as ready as I can be. Yeah.
Thank you. The floor is yours.
So yeah, hi everyone. I can't see you. I hope you can see me. I have since AFIFORUM has asked me to share some of the results of our research, I have also prepared a few slides for you. So let's go and have a look on what we've done. Like first of all, maybe just very quickly, I work for Bio. It's the Belgian investment company for developing countries. So we are kind of a private company, but fully owned by the Belgian government. And we invest the funds of the Belgian government's development corporation into debt and equity in developing countries. And that includes my team that works on financial institutions. A lot of them are MFIs. So we thought about what digitalization meant for us. And so, I mean, one thing was pretty obvious that amongst our existing clients, we have clients that are moving faster on digitalization, others that were maybe not yet moving. And we realized that that was actually going to have implications on how well our portfolio was doing. Like if clients would miss it and not jump on the train of digitalization in time, that might actually turn them into a major risk in the long run. And the same is true for jumping into digitalization unprepared and doing it the wrong way. It could be quite dangerous for them, and that means dangerous for us. So we wanted to understand a bit better our own portfolio of clients. And one of our main motivations was also to find out how we could support our clients better, like with technical assistance. What did they really need? So we adapted a bit our technical assistance programs and guidelines so that we could offer them better support for digital. And then ultimately, as important as digital is today, we thought that we needed to take it much more into account when we selected future clients. That does not mean stop supporting normal MFIs and only invest in fintechs for now, not at all. But obviously, seeing how ready someone is, if they have started moving on digital, it is an important element. So, right, this is what we've done. It was done just before the start of COVID. So we really interviewed clients kind of all the way around the world. And if you want to look up on it more, you have that little link up there on the BioInvest page, digital survey. We basically interviewed first, had our clients fill forms and then interviewed them for additional information. And one of the first big findings, quite reassuring, I personally think, is that really everyone had recognized how important digital is. There was no single institution among our clients that was not planning to go digital, and a lot of them had really started moving. So quite nice. Well, that really doesn't mean that everyone had the prerequisites for good digitalization in place, unfortunately. So I think this is one actually of the, maybe the main message of this research, like it takes a lot to do digital well. And like we thought some of the key elements that everyone really needed was a supporting management, and the most MFIs and banks that I replied thought they had that. then a dedicated team to really work on digitalization. It's still close to 80% of our clients did have that. But then already when it comes to money, and digitalization costs a lot of money, I guess most of you are quite aware of that, the situation didn't look that good anymore. It's less than 70% that actually had a dedicated budget. And we obviously we didn't ask how much it is. I don't know if the budget is sufficient, but just the mere fact of having singled out some funds and saying, all right, we're putting this on digital transformation. So they were not even 70%. And I think what's most concerning actually is that only 60% have a strategy in place on how to go about digital. So that means that 40%, which is not very far from half, do not have a strategy in place. So everyone was planning to, which is great, but everyone had started moving also. And I think what this is telling us really is that digital has come on our sector in a bit of a rushed way. There's a lot of pressure to be moving. It's not easy at all to actually do it in real life. So a lot of us have started in a more superficial way to see to the pressure to go digital. Add a product here or there, maybe a little channel so that the clients can see that it's getting more convenient and the investors are happy that things are happening. But actually what most institutions are doing is not the fundamental transformation of the way of doing business that digital could be, and I actually think ultimately should be. And I'm not like a blind proponent of digital, everything would be better if we were only virtual and not talking to each other anymore, really not. And I would love to see you today and be on a real life stage in front of you and be able to take questions. But I mean, there is a lot of potential in digital. So what it really takes is to get it straight, to understand for us as an institution, what part of this is good for us and for our clients, what part of it is not. And that only works when there's a clearly thought through strategy in place. So that for me is really, it's maybe my main call today, actually. As you think about digital, don't just see to the immediate pressures of every day and try to quickly scramble to get something together so that you can say that you've done something, but really think big about it. Do see the whole potential of digital and ask yourself what you want of that. So now, Rick has already mentioned that little survey. Thank you so much to everyone who participated. I thought that was quite exciting. And I had this belief that, well, COVID must have made a difference. And maybe some of the things that I'm talking about today and complaining how everyone hasn't really prepared properly for digital, that's actually old because we did it before the big COVID wave. So maybe everyone started moving, and it's not the same sample, it's not very scientific, but so we asked you. And here's the answers that we got. In those little diamonds, you can see who said yes to those questions. And if I was thinking that either due to COVID, everyone would now be so much more advanced, or maybe because we have the all Asia sample this time, then unfortunately I was wrong. With the digital strategy in particular, we're just above half and the budget even below half. And then just to look at it in a different way, how ready are the bio clients for digital transformation? Obviously, one really important fundamental prerequisite is IT, because you need the technology to make it work. And I'll go fast, but basically close to 40% of the clients that we asked had most or all of their systems still separated from one another. So a lot of manual input transfers, nothing in real time. Wow, I mean, wow, that does not make digitalization easy. And for external connectedness, only just above 40% actually had systems that were integration ready. So where you could plug someone else's solution and use it for a channel, for your clients, or for a new product feature. So maybe that explains a bit why it's so difficult to move about it, but it obviously goes both ways. It's another way of confirming that what we've done so far in our sector often is more the kind of plug-on quick fix solution, but not yet really so much the fundamental change of business models. Yeah, so then I thought, okay, but maybe we should know why. Like, why do our clients digitalize? Is it just like following that outside market and investor pressure, and they don't really care about it so much, but they do. So actually, digital transformation and innovation was the top strategic priority for most of our investees. More important than growth, more important than customer-centric improvement of customer experience, which is a pity, to be honest, because I think digital should never happen without aiming at improving the customer experience at the same time. And we asked what the reasons were for each of them to go digital, and I was a little bit surprised here as well. When I go to talk to clients and I ask MFIs and banks about going digital, I hear a lot about their amazing business cases, all the things that they're going to do, and how this is going to be an investment really worth it because it's going to make us go rural and cover the whole country. It's going to, we always had a hard time with raising savings, but once we have that channel, it's going to blow up our savings and we'll grow so much, and we'll have all those transactions and extra features, and they're going to create a lot of additional revenue. So it's really worth it investing into this digital innovation. But then now when we asked our clients, they were so much more realistic, and they actually said, no, like if we could increase our operational efficiency, that would be really great. Then there were some client-related elements, increasing client acquisition and customer loyalty, which I think is good. But then again, operational costs really closely related to operational efficiency. So there were a lot of supply-side factors, actually. And well, in a way, I think that's good, because I tend to caution those that hope for all those big revenues and savings growth, that most digital channels or products that you would just add on actually don't do that. So great to see that clients are so realistic about what digital can do to them. But on the other hand, I think it's not good, because digital, if you want to do it the real way, if you want to do it as a transformation of the way that you work, then it's a huge investment. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of effort. And you won't do that just for a bit of operational efficiency and cost reductions. You really need bigger reasons than that to do it the whole way. So I guess that's something maybe that comes in phases, and that we'll move on to bolder digitalization models over time that will be even more customer experience focused. And once again, now you must be curious. Those of you who replied to the survey know that that question was also in there. So you must be curious how that compares to our AFIFORUM sample. And actually, I know I just put that little diamond here to remind me to talk about it, but I'll tell you. So actually, it looks very similar. Operational efficiency and reducing operational cost were the two top reasons for you guys to digitalize. And then there's a new one that sneaked in because we are now post-COVID, or well, at the end, hopefully, of COVID. So that new one is to be able to operate under lockdown or social distancing scenarios, obviously. And then client acquisition also came in as the fourth factor, but that supply side focus is still there. Yeah, I mean, you did say that actually 60% of you launched new digitalization projects due to COVID. So COVID did make a difference. And 80% said that now they consider digitalization more urgent than prior to COVID. So there is some impact there, but it hasn't really changed our way of thinking about digital, apparently. what is nice is that some of you have measured the impact of your digital investments, and their customer growth is all the way at the top, 40%. It's not 80, but it's 40% of those that invested in digital measured that customer growth went up substantially. 31 measured a cost decrease, and 27% mentioned that they measured improved client retention. So the clients are there, actually. The effects on clients are there, and they're positive. What's a bit of a pity, but very understandable, because it's not easy to do, is that more than a third of you did not ever even try to measure where it's going. So it's difficult to do, but I think if you want to justify those huge investments, measuring is not a bad idea, actually. This one maybe really quickly. I know that for practitioners, it's always nice to know how others are doing. So we asked which products, which channels our clients already had in place or were currently already piloting, planning, concretely introducing, which ones they weren't working on yet, not concretely enough, but they were quite interested. And if there were some that actually right now they really weren't thinking about. And what you see is that, well, mobile wallets and mobile transfers, little surprisingly, are the top things that are already in place. And actually, quite nicely, we also asked about credit and debit cards to see how that would compare some of the more traditional, almost digital channels. And it turns out that we now have 60% of our clients offering or almost offering and concretely introducing mobile wallets, 67%, sorry, and 70% offering cards. So that is really very close by now. And then if you look at it in a bit more of a future-oriented way, actually, only 11% of our clients were not interested in introducing mobile wallets, but 22% are like, so that's double, not interested in introducing cards anymore. So I think there is really a shift to the more innovative models going on, if already you do make the investment. Yeah, maybe another one is the digital loans that are always very sexy. Everyone talks about them, and there's a lot of criticism about them, especially from a customer protection perspective. They can be quite challenging to do well, or they can be misused. And actually, at least in our client portfolio, there were not that many clients yet that actually had and were already offering digital loans. There's a lot of caution about them, I think. But at the same time, excitement is big. It's the one digital product out of all that our clients were most excited about, and that almost everyone actually was interested in introducing.
Jessica, may I briefly ask if we could slowly round up, because we have this another session lined up.
Yeah, I have one last slide that I would like to share with you, and then I'll be done.
Thank you so much.
So just a few thoughts on clients. So I think this is part of the reasons also on why it's difficult to do digitalization in a big way. We asked what the response of the market was to digital, and only 10% of our clients actually said that, wow, our clients are excited, everyone is like, is going digital. Only 10%. On the other hand, there were 40% that said, well, not everywhere, but a lot of our clients at least are picking up one product or channel. There is a lot of movement. And then there's half of them that said, well, some of our customers do have concerns, really. It's not that easy, this adoption of digital products and channels, but it's coming slowly. And no one said that clients really weren't interested, but you can see that there's a lot of work to do on the supply side, and there is also still a lot to do, well, either in terms of maybe literacy or in terms of making products and channels more convenient and easier for clients. Now, the last thing, but not the least, for today is like we also asked you, and once again I thought, well, let's see what COVID did to this. And here are the figures from our little AFIFORUM survey. The response that clients were excited and really taking it up well went up from 10% to almost 30%. So that's amazing. Maybe COVID did make a difference here. Maybe Asia is also a more advanced market in that sense. But yeah, that's where it ends really, because then we only had 13% of you saying that there was a substantial move for at least some products or channels. And actually this time even 60% saying, yeah, it's not that easy. Actually, like the customers have a lot of concerns. Yeah, so that's it. I hope it was somehow a little bit interesting. If there's one thing to take away, I guess then two, maybe that's really do focus on your clients and